to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel this fine Wednesday. My name is Jedel Kabir, ready for political conversations that are very simple, truthful, and biased with Herman Manyora, who puts them across in a hard-hitting way. He's here. How are you?
Wonderful.
Chill in Nairobi, just as always.
Chilly.
We're getting used to it now.
Of course.
Taking a look at what is happening now in the country, Raila says, Saba of our lifetime. That's how he's calling it. He's saying it's going to be big. It's going to be bigger than any other Maandamano that he's had. I think on Monday he said it's the mother of all Maandamanos. Remember, he wanted to have it, and now he's going to have it this Friday. And I just want to know, starting with Ruto beating Luo Nyanza leaders elected in ODM, this is something that Raila said before he even talk. Let this kind of thing stop. Why do you think Ruto is so adamant to show Kenyans that he doesn't really care about what Raila is asking for?
History has shown us that when people are in power, many times they just can't see even the very obvious things. That's the only way you can understand Ruto's moves.
This is a question of...
If you look at, for example, even the history of Kenya, this trying to get people from Luo Nyanza on your side, that's never helped anybody. Moi tried it. Those people are just rejects. They never helped him to penetrate Nyanza, not at all. Moi tried with people like Kamodo in Mount Kenya. It didn't work. You cannot achieve much merely by working with a few hungry fellows from Luo Nyanza. They can't help you.
Is it a question of achievement, or is it more of showing Kenyans that he has these leaders on his side? What are you trying to show?
You know, the people Ruto is working from Nyanza, these are very good people. Very tacit, compact fellows. But they have reduced themselves into things that nobody can respect. At least not from where they come from. Luos have no respect for them at all. So, when you get people who are scorned, who are looked upon as cheap, traitors, angry, you know, what do you stand to gain?
Is this
almost zero?
I would want to know, is this a different kind of politics trying to show that elections ended and now the likes of Jalango says, look, it's time for us to work with this administration? Is the politics that we ought to see so that we don't go to Maandamanos every single now and then?
You don't stop Maandamano by talking to Jalango. Jalango is a nobody in the context of this thing. This is a big thing and Jalango doesn't feature there.
I'm saying not that. I'm just saying the politics of elections ended, the likes of Jalango. This is what they're saying. Let's move on as a country. Well, how do you play this kind of politics showing that we don't really have to have this
let me tell you this, and I've said repeatedly, and because it is true, matters public are a more perception than reality. So if you are a Jalango and people perceive you as cheap, that's what it is. There's nothing you can do to change the story. They perceive you as cheap. They won't trust you. They won't believe anything you say. They won't even want to benefit from you in any way. So don't you think, therefore, you are wasting your time? Because it's about perception. It's not about reality. Yeah, it has nothing to do with whether... But you see, even when you go to reality, what can an MP possibly get by going to State House? It is Parliament that sets aside funds and decides where money goes, for what purpose. When? It's Parliament, not the President. So by going to State House, you know, let me tell you something else. People are no longer foolish. People know these things. Even the villager in Luombe, where I come from, they know when you go to State House, you are taking your stomach. They know, a villager. That poor woman you saw in Luombe, she knows if the MP went to State House, the MP is taking the stomach. They are not going for them. They know it. Because look, power is with the Parliament, not with the State House. Actually, it is the President who should be begging MPs. It should be the President begging MPs for development.
You're speaking of perception and reality.
Yes.
But we still know that power is in State House, truly.
No, that is how
the State House or the President controls members of Parliament.
In fact, the objective reality is the President has no power. At all.
I'm saying
zero.
That's the truth, but
that is the truth.
Wise.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
And that truth is even captured by perception. People know it. That's what people understand. The President has no power. That's why they can't understand when they see an MP going to State House, ostensibly to bring development.
But
they can't understand because they know it's not true.
I'm saying, you remember when the
That's where reality and perception merge. They meet somewhere. The truth is that the president has no power to give development to anybody. The constitution is right there. The president, and I've been telling MPs, if you read the constitution, the president has only power in one area where you can go and beg, even kneel. Power of mercy. Yeah. If somebody is sentenced to death, the president has power to commute it to life sentence.
I think there's a word we are missing because there's perception, there's reality. But
I'm saying here reality and perception merge. The reality is that the president has no powers.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
The constitution is there in black and white. There is nothing you can go and beg the president to give you apart from mercy, the power of mercy. He cannot have, it doesn't have development. In fact, a governor has more access to resources of his government than the president. The president has no access to the resources. Absolutely none. The reality is that the perception today in this country is that anytime a member of parliament, a governor, especially from the opposition, lands at State House, takes a photograph, even if Manyora goes there, and I'm not saying I want to go, if I'm called I'll go, but I'm saying once I'm seen there, people say Manyora amepeleka tumbo yake. That's the perception.
Yes, there's perception, there's reality, and I think it is.
Are you seeing how they are merging?
There are things as they are. This is the situation we have in the country. Appointed all these board chairmen in parliament. The finance bill, they came out and said, look, we're looking at those people that will not pass this finance bill from our side. It's as if the president has power to control.
No, you see, the president is giving himself powers he doesn't have, and a few leaders are dancing around the president, and bending and dancing and jumping. When he says jump, they just chop. They don't question, they say how high. But the people of Kenya know that the president doesn't have power. The reality is that the president doesn't have power to distribute any development. None.
But things as they are.
So it's only MPs who take their stomachs.
Okay.
Wanapeleka tumbo. And that's what. So I'm saying here the reality and the perception merge and they converge and they become one.
I want to know, because I asked you this first, why is he adding salt to this injury?
That's what,
because you're looking at the things he's doing, the words he's speaking from his side, telling people go ahead and demonstrate, we will deal with you. That is what they were saying before. Why is he adding this salt to this injured Kenyan?
I have told you this. History has demonstrated that when men are in power, and it's even in the Bible, even the Quran, holy books, go and check. Whenever men are in power, they seem to lose sight of things that are very obvious. Look, I could see Uhuru and messing. I could see Uhuru doing things, and I was asking myself, does he really want Raila to be president? I could see. And I would ask myself, even on this show, are they not seeing this? The fact that you are in power means you have to be extremely careful. Because two things. One, you don't see things that other people are seeing.
Okay.
Two, you step into impunity. And impunity becomes the order of the day. A story is told of a king who employed somebody that whenever he was in public space, the man will always be next to him, whispering to the king, you are not a god. You are not a god. Reminding the king. The king has employed him to be reminding him, you are not a god. Yes, because the temptation to act as if you are God is real. That's why if you look at history, the blunders kings made, you cannot believe how they made them. Very obvious things. And this is made worse by the fact that human nature works against you. Human nature is such that we want to hear good things said about us. It's human nature. We want the best things talked about us. We want to be the one speaking wherever we are.
Yeah.
We want to be at the center of everything. It's human nature. So unless you are aware of that, especially when you get to power, and by power I mean even a class prefect. Once you get into power, that's why you are all friends in a school. Because I'm a teacher, allow me to be giving these micro examples using schools. You are in a school, you are all good teachers. You go to the market and eat lunch of 10 shillings, 15 shillings, 20 during our days. Then one of you becomes a deputy, my friend. Everything changes. Even the way he speaks. He begins to put on cheap suits of 2,000, 3,000 shillings. He changes. Even, look, that's what power does to you. And therefore, you must be aware of two things. One, power can mess you. Two, like Michelle Obama has said in her book, Becoming, power quickly reveals who you are. Shows if you are a weak person, to show you are weak. But more importantly, why are you asking why Ruto is not adding salt to injury? Power blinds you. I'm sorry to use this word blind. Our unsighted brothers and sisters, forgive me.
You don't see the reality.
You don't see reality. Obvious things I could see Uhuru missing to see. You can see them. So Ruto is doing these things. And the people around him cannot tell him. Cannot tell him. You do not endear yourself to the country by continuing to poach people from Azimio. Because the mood of the country is against it. The cheapness. The whole cheapness of men and women streaming to State House. It is irritating people in this country. They can't tell you that. They can't tell you that the people who come to you from Nyanza are alienating you from the people of Nyanza. You can employ, the first time Ruto went to Nyanza, I thought the guy had gotten it right. You know, he worked with, you remember Gladys Wanga smiling until I saw the last molar? You remember Orengo?
Yes.
That is a style. He should have built on that style. So that he's working with Orengo, Wanga, people who are close to Raila. And then Walo are in the background, in the wings there. You see? Kina Kidero now are taken in slowly. But if you front Kidero, how do you get the people of Nyanza? They run away from you.
Ledama says, I wish they would just man up and resign from their position and seek the people's mandate through their newfound concubine. Is this the right way to go for the likes of Jalango? You want to walk with the president, you want to dine with the president, you're going to state as he says he's the president despite your party leader's position. The right way to go is simply to resign.
And let me tell you this. There are two reasons why. One, it is the right thing to do. It's the only way to grow democracy. If we believe in democracy, if we believe in multipartyism, which people died for, then it is only fair that once the differences between you and your party or the party leader get to a point you can't reconcile, or that you find the other side is now very attractive, the thing to do is to resign. That's how it is. The second reason why you must do so is these are revolutionary moments. You may want to describe it the way you want. Because moments in history are never captured with a ruler. That you draw a line here and draw another line here and say, this period in history started here and it ended here. You know, they are transitional. So there is a revolution in the making, if it's already not there. This is a period for a revolution in this country. You get it?
Yeah.
And the revolutions, I have told people, I was giving a talk to some MPs, I think in Manzone, and I said, revolutions hate irritants. So be careful not to irritate the people in the moments of a revolution. Revolutions hate cowards. Revolutions hate traitors. Those are the first people the revolution goes for. Cowards, and traitors, irritants. So if you are an MP on the side of Azimio, ODM, Jubilee, and you are doing the sort of things Kina Sabina Chege, Kina Kanini Kega are doing, Kina Jalango are doing, my very good friends, and then people like the senator in Kisumu, what do you call him? Tom Ogenda.
Yeah.
Especially if you have that stature of Tom Ogenda. A person who is supposed to be compact and respectable. Doing the revolutions go for those people. I'm telling you. And I'm not the one saying it. You read history.
I don't know if you've seen that clip of a Senegalese minister.
A minister being wrapped up in some...
In France.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Of course. There was another clip of somebody tossed in a dustbin.
Yeah.
I don't know, a minister or something.
Yeah.
That's how revolutions work. When the mobs are moving around, the first people they look for are cowards, traitors, and irritants.
As if this is not...
Anybody should read about the revolution.
As if this is not enough, I'm saying.
Yeah.
You look at the reconstitution of IEBC,
Yes.
bipartisan team from Ruto said the same.
Yes.
It wasn't stopped. There's no order to stop it, and so we are continuing
That
with
is
the
you see,
reconstitution.
these are cheap things. What they would have done, in fact, on the part of Ruto and Kenya Kwanza, they are missing very golden opportunities to knock steam out of Raila. They should have used this IBC thing. They should have said, looks like this bipartisan thing is stalling. Let's go back to parliament. Somebody comes up with a bill. Because there's already a law in place to be used to set up the new IBC.
Yeah.
You quickly quash that law by bringing in a new law. You get it? Not even waiting for this bipartisan bill. You bring in, because you are the numbers. You seem to be responding to the reality and the need in the country for an impartial IEBC. But now if you are going to go on with this, you are making...
And I guess this is my conversation today. Why is he continuing? And you've said power is blinding him.
Yeah, that's what power does. Not to Ruto.
Yeah.
To every man who has ever occupied office, there's something that power does to you. Power blinds you. Power makes you unable to see the things which even children can see. And sycophants around you make it worse.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The way they talk and you, because you are a human being, you listen to them.
Yeah.
That's what power does. Every man, history has produced men and rarely women. So allow me to use man. And because power is not about presidents or kings. It's about including a class prefect. So let me say, every man, every woman who has lost power, whenever they look back, one thing stands out. How they could not have seen certain very obvious things.
Maybe as
anybody who loses an election, especially if you have been a president and you are going for a re-election and you lose, from wherever you sit, you can't avoid looking at the mistakes you made. And the first thing that always disturbs you is how you are unable to see very obvious things.
Maybe as we wrap up, you've reminded me of Donald Trump, but let's not go there. Yes. But as we wrap up, what's your message to Kenyans? Because Sabasaba is approaching. Opiah Wandayi says it's as if it will go on continuously after Sabasaba Day. What's your message to Kenyans that are scared?
My message is very clear. First of all, what is my position? My position is, if we love this country, we must do everything to protect it. Going for demonstrations is not one way of protecting your country. Is moving it closer to anarchy. That's my position. But having said that, I must also be honest enough to say there are reasons. Part of what we have been discussing now. There are reasons, compelling reasons, why Azimio may find it the only thing to do. There are compelling reasons. We have discussed this in this show.
Yeah.
But then finally, I must say this. Whatever we do, from wherever corner, from whichever political persuasion, whoever we are, whatsoever we believe, whatever we do, we must always know our actions will either make this country or unmake it.
Yeah.
Whether you are William Ruto, whether you are Raila Odinga, whoever you are, whether you are a citizen walking to Kamkunji, or staying at home and watching on your TV safely. Whatever you do or fail to do, you must know your action or inaction will make or unmake this country.
All right.
And this message is especially to Ruto and Raila Odinga. History will be very harsh to these two gentlemen, extremely harsh.
We just hope things don't get that bad.
Yes.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been our conversation on President William Ruto, Raila Odinga Sabasaba Day. Will things be bad? Will things become better in the near future? Until we do talk again, let me leave the monkeys to play. They're playing around here. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.